Yo, what are you lot saying? It's your boy Jabba Boy here, and today what I've got for you it is the 2015 Austrian Grand Prix review for you guys. Now, before I start this video, next weekend I am going to be at the Formula E London E-Prix. If you did not know, yeah, I'm going on the Sunday, probably around 11 to like 5 or something like that. So yeah, if you do see me, then say hi. I'm down, you know, to talk to you, take photos, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be with my dad, so yeah. So, yeah, if you do see me, come say hi, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be vlogging it. It should be out probably maybe a day or two after the event, so yeah. So moving on, we'll go straight into this video. We'll start off into qualifying. And basically it was in very, very tricky conditions as early in the morning it was raining hard. So yeah, it was in tricky conditions. A lot of people were struggling, particularly in FP3. So going into qualifying, it was going to be, we all knew it was probably going to be a very tricky and exciting session. So yeah. And it certainly was, you know, a lot of people were, all of them were on the intermediate tyres, but as we came to the middle of the session, all of the drivers all went on to the slick tyres. So yeah, so really it was drying up to a point that they all went on slick, so yeah. And as a result, the times went down. We saw the two Toro Rossos really right up there in the front end, so really both loving these type of conditions, so yep. And yeah, really the times went down, so really anyone was in danger of getting dropped in Q1, so yeah. And that was the case for Kimi Räikkönen, a shock for all of the Kimi fans, everyone to be honest, because we all thought the two Ferraris and the Mercedes would easily get into Q2. No, one of them didn't, and that was Kimi Räikkönen, who missed out into Q2 and would start 18th, but because of all of the penalties, all the gearbox and engine penalties by, I think, the Red Bull, Kvyat, Button, Alonso, all of those lots, that meant that Kimi moved himself up into 14th, so yeah, he would be starting 14th rather than 18th, so yeah. And then going into Q2, not much really happened. I mean, the track was drying up as usual. A lot of the faster times were being set, but in the end, the two Mercedes were on top, followed by I think Vettel behind. The only big name to drop out was Daniel Ricciardo. He would be starting in 20th, but I think he would turn to last place because of the gearbox penalties that he had to incur for the race. So yeah, unfortunate for him. And then going into Q3, it was mostly dry, so no real slight, you know, no like surprise and whatnot. So yeah, it was really mostly all about the Mercedes for the front of the grid. Both Mercedes pushing as hard as they can to beat each other. And yeah, and then in the end, we saw Lewis Hamilton spin out of control. Apparently he hit the grass, which spun the car around, and almost was a replica, almost a carbon replica of last year, when Lewis Hamilton, going down to turn 2, did the exact same, almost the exact same thing to be honest, spun the car, and that was it. His session was over. He had to start 9th from the grid. This time he already set a lap time, so whatever happened, he would have not been lower than like 5th or something like that, so yeah. But it was a very, very surprising spin to be honest. I think Lewis pushing a little bit too hard, I would say, to be honest. Getting a little bit too pressure, I think the pressure getting to him too much for him. And then we all thought, at that point, Rosberg it was an open goal for Rosberg. We all thought it was going to be an easy pole for Rosberg to take. No, it wasn't, because apparently he ran wide on the final corner, went completely wide coming into the final corner, and went into the gravel, and as a result his qualifying session was over. He would have to start in second place. So Hamilton was saved by that little by that little run wide by Rosberg there, and as a result kept his pole position, which looked like it was in jeopardy. So yeah, a great pole by Lewis Hamilton. Got the lap that he needed, got that crucial lap that he needed on the first lap, so that was good for him. And yeah, as a result, getting onto pole position, he was obviously saved by that Rosberg mistake there. Really surprising, to be honest, because Rosberg looks really comfortable throughout the weekend. Really was looking like Rosberg was going to take a turn in this World Championship. Really put himself in place for this championship, but obviously the pressure got to him, particularly in Q3 there. So yeah. So moving on into the race, it was a bad start for Lewis Hamilton, so much so that Rosberg got a lightning start, and as a result took the lead of the race. But Hamilton, coming out of turn 1, got a great slipstream from the back of Nico Rosberg's car, but couldn't do anything about that because Rosberg defended the inside line going into turn 2. So Hamilton had to stay in second, but he had a great run going into turn 3. But Hamilton couldn't do any. But again, Rosberg defended the inside line going into turn 3, which made Lewis have to slot in behind Nico Rosberg to stick in second place. But as he came out of turn 2, Raikkonen got really loose coming out of turn 2, so much so that he collected Fernando Alonso, and both of them went piling into the barriers there. A massive pile-up going into the barriers there between Raikkonen and Alonso. Alonso going right over on the top of the front of Raikkonen's car. A very scary accident, to be honest. Almost close to Raikkonen's head there was Alonso's car, so very scary indeed. Thankfully both drivers were okay, so that was great to see. But unfortunate for Raikkonen, to be honest, his weekend going from bad to worse. And as a result, the safety car was deployed as well too. Ericsson got a penalty for a jump start that he did at the start. He had a bad start, so he jumped the start. And yeah, as a result got a penalty, so yeah. So back to the race, the safety car was deployed. It was only deployed for a few laps, and then as a result the safety car came back out and we were back racing. No real big changes for the front, so yep. Later on we saw some great overtakes by Valtteri Bottas. He was getting his nose in the thick of it. He was getting his nose in the thick of it as he made some great moves, particularly into turn 2, particularly with the likes of Verstappen and Hulkenberg there. Great moves there by the Finnish driver there. So, yep. At the front, not much was really... well, Hamilton was closing in, but then really, throughout the most part, Rosberg really just gave Hamilton... I mean, Hamilton had no answer really, to be honest, during the race. I mean, even when he was catching him, Rosberg would just slightly have an answer by pulling 2 or 3 tenths by him. So yeah, and it didn't go, and then it got worse for Hamilton as he incurred a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line at the exit. A very silly mistake by Lewis Hamilton there, particularly as you know, as he was only like about 4 seconds behind, and you know, and especially as he was now on fresh tyres. You know, had he not had it, we would have had a hell of a good race going on. So yeah, unfortunate, but that's racing. These things can happen. So yeah. We also saw some close calls in the first pit stop, particularly with Valtteri Bottas and Verstappen. Thankfully, there was no penalty incurred for neither of them, so that was good to see. We also saw Perez really frustrating Maldonado for 7th place. Maldonado trying to get 7th place. No, 10th actually, sorry, 10th place. It was the battle for 10th. And Perez really doing a good job of holding Maldonado behind him. So, yeah. And, yeah, so as a result, Maldonado couldn't do anything about Perez, so yeah. Then moving on, we saw Vettel make a really bad pit stop. One of the Ferrari crews had trouble with the right rear, with the right rear, and as a result, he came out behind Felipe Massa, and as a result, Felipe took 3rd place for Sebastian Vettel, and really a very frustrating and annoying moment there for the Ferrari crew and for Vettel as well. You know, as that cost them probably a possibility of getting a podium and whatnot, which would have helped the team in terms of points and whatnot. So yeah, Ferrari's weekend going from bad to worse there for them. And yeah, and then later on we saw Bottas moving up into 5th place. And really he just stayed there, to be honest. I mean, he had problems, I believe, with brakes and whatnot, so yeah, as a result he had to bring the car home to 5th place. So good drive by Valtteri there, especially I think coming from, I think it was like 11th or something like that. So yeah, good drive by him. A lot of good overtakes by the Finnish driver there, so yeah. And then for 3rd place we saw a really good battle emerging between Felipe Massa and Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian trying to get back onto the podium, and Felipe trying to keep the podium. I mean, it would be a great result for the Williams if they could pull it off. You know, 2nd podium for Williams, which would be a really fantastic achievement for them. So yeah, but in the end, Felipe did manage to hold on to 3rd place. A great result by Felipe Massa, getting that final podium position there. Also, I heard on the Sky broadcast that his son said that he predicted that he was going to be 3rd. He comes home 3rd. So that's just one thing I just found hilarious. You know, his son perfectly predicting where his father would finish. So that was so hilarious to watch there. So yeah, so Felipe getting 3rd place to his son's delight. 4th was Sebastian Vettel. Unfortunate for him, you know, that pit stop really cost him a chance of getting onto the podium there. So unfortunate for him. But in the end, for the front, it was Nico Rosberg who won the race by 7 seconds. It was 2 seconds, like if you don't include penalty, but if you include the penalty, then it's 7 seconds because it was 2 seconds at the end. So 2 plus 5, yeah, 7 seconds. So yeah, 7 seconds between Rosberg and Hamilton with the penalty. So yeah, like I said, 3rd place for Felipe Massa, good result by him. Williams' 2nd podium in a row, actually, consecutively, which is good to see. Nice to see the team growing and growing, race by race. 4th, like I said, was Vettel. 5th was Bottas. 6th was I'm not quite sure who 6th was. So yeah, yeah, I think I only know the top 5, to be honest. So yeah, 6th and lower, I don't even know, to be honest. So yeah. Also, another thing I forgot, Button retired from the race, so both McLarens are out of the race. Unfortunate for that team, to be honest. I mean, another double retirement. I mean, this is just getting getting ridiculous for McLaren now. They really need to start, you know, finishing races. They need to start, you know, they need to really, like, figure something out. They need to have a serious they need to have a serious debrief on what happened, to be honest. They need to seriously have a serious talk on what they could do with their engine, because at the moment this is going from bad to worse. I mean, for Alonso particularly as well, you know, 4 consecutive retirements. I mean, this is not what the team needs, to be honest. So hopefully it will turn around, especially for the British Grand Prix, their home event next time out. So yeah, hopefully it will be a double finish, or maybe even a double points. We have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, this is going from bad to worse for the Woking team. So yeah. But in the end, it went all right for the Brackley team. That was Mercedes. A great race, a perfect race for them. A 1-2 finish. So yeah. So yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button below. Subscribe if you're new. So you guys next time. Boy, I'm out. Peace.